Hello, researchers. My name is Malcolm Shambana to take you through the content of your data analysis part of your thesis, which is usually your chapter 4. And today, particularly, we are looking at qualitative data analysis. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this session. You can have your drink or whatever makes you feel comfortable as I take you through. Thanks. My name is Malcolm Shambana. You can reach me via this mobile number +2609774884442. You can send me a WhatsApp or you can text if you have any concerns, any questions, any suggestions. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be receiving notification of any new video or any other information. So our learning objective today is to understand what qualitative data is, to understand content analysis, to understand thematic analysis, and further to understand grounded theory. These are the three types of analysis we are going to concentrate on today. There are actually more than three, but I'll concentrate on these because they are the common ones, especially in academic research. So, what is qualitative analysis? In the previous session, or to be specific, in the session where we discussed the content of the research methodology, this topic was actually discussed. So if you have time, you can still go through one of our session. I think you can check the one for research methodology. There is a recording regarding qualitative and quantitative analysis. Though today we are concentrating on qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis is analysis of data that is not numeric in order to capture themes or patterns. The key purpose there is to capture themes. What story is in that data collected, which is non-numeric, or what patterns does it follow? This is done in order to answer definitely your research question. The purpose of this activity is to answer your research question. Remember, we have reached a stage, you have already collected your data. Now we have reached the stage of you making sense out of your data. So one of the steps you take is to analyze that data so that you can also come to a conclusion of your research question or find your findings, whatever you may call it. Data may be in form of words, images, or videos, or even audios. This is the type of qualitative data we are talking of. So, there are several types of qualitative data analysis or data methods which you can use to analyze your qualitative data. The following are commonly used in academic research. There are several, but today we are concentrating on those commonly used in academic research. If you have time, you can further study other methods of analysis, but as for now, we are concentrating on the following. So there is content analysis, there is thematic analysis, there is also grounded analysis. So content analysis, what is content analysis? As the name suggests, you are looking at the content of the data, the qualitative data at your table. So content analysis is a research method used to identify patterns and themes from documents and other communication media such as pictures, audio, and videos. You are trying to gather some message from that content, or you are trying to gather some message from that data and make sense out of it. It involves categorizing the contents of data to identify patterns and themes. It is usually involves quantifying the frequency of words. That word is supposed to be in plural. It's supposed to be frequency of words and phrases. How often is a word mentioned? For example, in our example where we discuss the causes of gender-based violence, maybe a phrase which may repeat is maybe it's as a result of drug or alcohol abuse, if that phrase keeps on repeating, then it can be captured and concluded as one of the causes of gender-based violence. That's the system content analysis use. It looks at the frequency, the words or the phrases appear, or even the pattern which that phrase or word forms. Content analysis usually uses predetermined themes to categorize content. For example, in this case, we are looking at predetermined themes. For example, if you say, who's the best footballer in Zambia? Already, maybe you have got names like Fashion Sakala, maybe Patson Daka, or is it Lamek Banda? Those are your themes. You have already put your themes before you even start your research. You have those three names. Then you go and inquire from your interviewees or maybe respondents. You now inquire from them who's the best footballer in Zambia. Then they will be giving names according to those the three themes you have given: Fashion Sakala, Patson Daka, Lamek Banda. Those are the established themes. Then, once you have that data, you now analyze, you look at the frequency. The name which is most frequent is now your conclusion that that's the best player in Zambia. That's how content analysis works. And in this manner, it is taking definitely a deductive approach to answer the research question. It's using a theme. There are already themes. It's starting from the themes, then testing, then concluding. It's though deductive approach, like we discussed last time. I'll still need to share this with you. For those who haven't yet watched the previous, the research methodology session, you can still go to my YouTube account. You'll find that video there. And this was shared in that video. So there is inductive and deductive approaches in your research. So when you are using content analysis, it's a qualitative analysis, but you are starting with a theory. Already we have lined up players. There is Patson Daka, Lamek Banda, there is Fashion Sakala. They are in the theme. Then you test them by interviewing respondents, maybe soccer fans. You test them by interviewing soccer fans. Then you have a confirmation by picking out the most frequently answered. This approach is usually used in quantitative methods, but In this case, where you are using content analysis, you are going to use it in a qualitative method. I'm sure it will take you time for you to absorb that, but you need to go through this table in under your research methodology so that you understand where I'm coming from. We already, in content analysis, we already have themes. You have already established your answers. Then, now you are interviewing your respondents in line with those themes. Then you pick how they are answering to establish which one is the correct or most frequent content. That's what it takes to do a content analysis. You look at how many times a phrase or a theme appears. There are softwares used to analyze, we are now living in a modern world, used to analyze content from respondents, frequency of where the words appear. You can Google that. There are apps, maybe you can buy. I don't know if they are free. But the idea is to check the frequency. A particular word from your theme appears. That's what happens under this content analysis. Then we move to thematic analysis. Thematic analysis is a method used to identify patterns or themes from documents and communication media such as pictures, audios, or videos, or even uh, text. This sounds more like, it sounds the same as content analysis, but it's different. Why? Thematic analysis goes beyond counting of words and phrases to analyzing implicit content and themes within data. So this method is mainly used when you have open-ended questions. Then you get respondents' answers and then try to make sense, try to classify them in your established themes. Try to get meaning from what, definitely respondents are going to use their own words, but you need to extract common meanings from the respondents' text, audio, or pictures. You need to extract common meanings, which are called themes. So these common meanings are the ones now which you are going to test, or maybe conclude that this is what my respondents are stating. So thematic analysis allows use of both inductive and deductive approaches. That's why you need to go back to that video if you haven't seen the video on research methodology. I explained what inductive and deductive approaches are. It's the same as the diagram which we had here. So, thematic approach begins with a question, then moves to observation and interpretation. Then you come up with a theory. So the questions will be answered by your respondents, and the respondents will give different statements in their own words, but yourself, you need to come up with meaning, categorized meanings from the respondents' answers in order for you to come up with theories or hypotheses. You need to extract what the respondents are trying to say. That's what thematic method does. It falls between inductive and deductive approaches. because it uses word count as well, phrases. Also counts phrases to come up with a frequency and conclude, or it further uses contents from respondents to come up with a theory, categorized themes, which can be summarized into a theory. That's how we use thematic analysis. It's a bit more a step ahead than the content analysis, but it's very useful in interpreting what the respondents are trying to say. Usually applied when you are using open-ended questions. Grounded theory. Though this is not common among academic researchers, I think it's a bit complicated because it's usually used where there is little or no data or no literature review, rather. No literature, maybe there is, maybe it's a new topic. Ground theory inductively generates theory that is grounded in the data itself. So the theory comes from the data. You have no idea of any idea, or maybe you don't preconceive any theory before you do your research, before you start your research or data collection. The theory is generated during data collection. Grounded theory is characterized by simultaneously collecting data and analyzing it. These two things are done at the same time. Actually, they are done in iteration. You collect data, you analyze. Again, you collect data, you analyze. You collect data, you analyze. Whilst collecting data, you are coming up with some form of theory which you are refining during the process. And the theory is developed just right there from data collection. There, like I said, there is no preconceived theory. Once you start your research, you have to go there open-minded. There is no, you have to take it, you don't know anything. Definitely, to avoid biasness, you don't have to know anything. That's why I said it's not a common type, though it can be used in cases where you have little or no data, or if the topic is very new. Then you develop iterations between data analysis. You collect data from your respondents, analyze it, come up with a theory. You collect maybe some more data maybe from other respondents, analyze it, come up with a theory. Again, it's an iteration process. That's why it's a bit complicated and not common among academic researchers, but it can be used in research. Usually, like I said, when you have little literature, or maybe there is the topic is very new. Remember, these approaches are not limited. Approaches to the qualitative analysis are not limited to these three. I just mentioned these three. Maybe you are likely to use them in your academic research. However, there are other qualitative analysis approaches which you can look at in your own time. You can go and research on them, understand what they mean. There is a narrative analysis. I think that one looks at stories being told. There's discourse, which looks at languages. There is also phenomenology. You can look at that in your own time. So thank you for watching this video and for listening. If you like the video, you can Click on like. You can also subscribe to this account so that you can be receiving updated information. Thank you all for being with me.